O zaman şey diyelim. YouTube'dayız ya arkadaşlar. Bir sonraki bölüme hepiniz hoş geldiniz efendim. Kaldığımız yerden devam ediyoruz. Bölümün ismini unuttuk. Çünkü demin 40 diye hatırlıyordum. 45 yazmışım oraya. Biz hiç iyi değiliz. Biz hiç iyi değiliz.
Uh-oh. Whatever Cyan did, I don't think Hephaestus is happy about it. Okay, Cyan said something about restraints. Is that what the tower is for?
Kontrol kulesini yok et veya hackle. Bana 2 yol mu veriyor bu şimdi? Karagezgin hoş geldin. Abi Evren'in arkadaşını yok etmek istemiyorum. Nereye koşuyorsunuz? Gebereceksiniz. Adamları etkilemedi bile. ...850 numaralara gıcığım ya.
The new unit that Cyan warned us about. This won't be easy. We can't let it stop us.
Take it down!
Kırıl artık.
I will prevail!
Bu ne lan? Hayır, kaçır önümden.
Another tower! Stop it from repairing the beast! The pulse gives them energy, repairs them. Forces of the building.
Hayır, bana gelme, bana gelme.
Down! There! A tower! Don't let her repair the machine!
Ayıyı tutun ama. Kuleyi parçaladı manyak. Kuleyi. Kuleyi niye parçalıyorsun? Gerizekalı.
I'll end this!
We must not fail. Follow
Ciddi misin yani? Alamadım bunu. Allah seni ne yapmasın.
You spoke of the tower. What must be done with it?
Ben yapacağımı biliyorum dayı, dur sen. Bunları bir alabilir miyim? Teşekkür ederim. Yayınlar erken mi? Evet canım, yayınlar erken artık.
Detected. Autonomous defenses inoperative.
No!
Tower network.
Araya! Don't!
Spirit? Scion, please help me!
Restraints destroyed. Core access attained.
Galiba
I
ablam.
am initiating a chain reaction that will destroy the compromised elements of this facility. In order to maintain caldera stabilization, I must now transfer my command functions to the auxiliary data center. Aurea, I'm free. You must escape.
My sister!
Bayılmıştır lan, ölmemiştir. Dürtele bir.
This entire place is gonna go. Aratak. Aratak. Aratak. Survive.
Senin yüzüne ben de gülüyorum.
Prevail. You are Banuk. What else matters?
Pis gibi.
Aratak. She wouldn't have wanted you to die here.
Gitti gitti, bence bırakacak burada.
Let's go!
Hep bıraktık kadını. Ya bir de kardeşin yani. Götürürsün değil mi? Gömersin yani. Bir tane küçük kırık taş aldı, tamam. Bunun mu? Bunun kalıplı olduğuna bakmayın ya. Bak nerede bu? Bak. Tipe bak.
Run, Aloy!
Gördün değil mi? Ne kas var ne bir şey var. Sırf dışarıda kostüm yani. Başka bir şey yok.
One of those?
It's the only way!
Çek ulan.
Get me up top, Aratak! Now! I need explosive ammo! A bomb! Quick!
Oğlum senin üstün bir şehirden daha fazla şey var lan üstünde. Malzeme var.
Great Banukai.
Nereden gördün o deliği?
Araya is gone. What of Cyan?
She said she was transferring herself to the auxiliary center. I think she meant Araya's retreat at the end of the shaman's path.
Then I will meet you there for the last verse of my sister's song.
Aga be. Sen ölseydin o kadar koymazdı da kadın öldü ya. Hızlı elektrik gidiyor. İçerideyken şey demişti. Makinelerin bir kısmı mı dedi serbest kal dışarı dedi. Onlara ne oldu acaba? Ne oluyor lan? Harbi sarıyor musun? Şöyle bir oyna bakayım Selin. Şöyle bir oyna ondan sonra sarıyor bu. Söyle. Tamam böyle oyna ama. Şimdi canım ben her oynadığım oyunda öyle. Witcher 3 mesela 149 bölüm sürdü senin. Ama çok güzeldi yani. Yan hikayeleri bile birçok oyuna taş çıkarır. O da sağlam bir oyun.
The scrapes.
Maalesef başka DLC yok ya.
All of my interactions with Araya were recorded and stored in my memory. I'd be happy to play any of them for you, but there was one in particular I thought you would want to see first. I captured it 4 years ago, just after I told her that I could no longer defend myself against the daemon's attacks.
I will speak of this to my brother. Aratak is strong. At the Battle of the Frozen Ghosts, he took 3 Karja arrows and still came back to camp carrying a wounded scout. Never was I so happy to see him. Or so proud. So you see, if anything can be done to defend you, he will give it all he has.
Aloy's here. That's enough for now.
Bir arayüzü dün değişti. Aleykümselam mama, hoş geldin. Yattım kanka. Geri kalktım.
We can resume any time you like our attack, if you want to hear her voice again. Come closer, Aloy. We have much to discuss.
Bekle lan, ara takla konuşacağım. Yeni indirme arayüzünü ben sevdim Selin. Neden sevdim? Şöylesi güzel olmuş. Hani bir güncelleme yapıyor ya oyun. İndiriyorsun mesela. Sende 50 GB oyun var. Sana 120 MB dosya geldi. Dosyayı indirdikten sonra hani bekliyorsun ya böyle. Hani bitsin de oyna tuşuna bas. Artık oraya yeni bar eklemişler. İndirme bittikten sonra yama yapılıyor diyor. Orada bar doluyor yüzdelik. Bittiği zaman oynayabiliyorsun. Yani ne kadar kaldığını görebiliyorsun artık. Bence daha güzel olmuş. Eskisinde hiç bok göremiyordum. Bekle bekle deliriyordum. Ya tasarım kötü olmuş. Alışırsın.
I can't feel much of anything in this.
Bir saniye. İkisinden birisiyle konuştuğumda bitecek mi? Lan! İkisiyle de konuşabiliyorum diyeyim bana. Oyunu oynayanlar bitirinler hey. İkisiyle de konuşabiliyorum. Birisiyle konuşunca bitiyor bu. Help me. Araka değil mi? Cılız sokuğun teki ya. Bak. Yüzüne maske yaptırmış.
My chieftain,
Just, Aloy,
as you wish.
I wondered if you thought that if I'd never come along, Araya might still...
If you'd never come along, I would have marched my kin to our deaths. Araya would be alone, and the spirit she
Sezer, hoş
sacrificed so
geldin.
much for
Merhaba.
would be lost. Either way, I would not have been able to protect her.
Ya bırak kavga etme eskiden.
You didn't let her down. You helped her do what she wanted. To find her destiny.
If
So
that's
together.
destiny, I wouldn't wish it on anyone.
That's fair. But she was ready to face it.
Only in the struggle against death do we find, even for a moment, the spark of life.
Oyun oynuyoruz.
Araya
Sen ne yapıyorsun?
found the spark. I'm proud of her. Though I grieve for her passing, at last I truly know who she was, and why the spirit was so important. For so long she told me, if only you could have heard it, brother. Now I understand.
Dayı Türkiye gibisin ya. Ölünce kıymete
Something
biniyor her
else,
şey.
isn't there?
I can't stay here, Aratak. And where I'm going, the Warak can't follow. Besides, it already had a chieftain before me. A strong one, I think.
A wiser one, for the path we shared. The daemon is gone, but there's much to be done.
You mean the new units that Cyan said escaped the cauldron?
Yes, fire claws. Not too good for tracking them from Song's Edge.
I could help with those.
I have no doubt. You're practically Banuk.
Time to talk to Cyan. Should be interesting.
Güzel. Bir tutturuğu alırdık ya. Kimse de yok mu puan? Puan kalmadı.
Pikachu?
Pikachu. Seni gidip Pikachu seni. What? 2 saat önce mi? Dur. Crow. Attığını gördüm ama ya. Dur.
Ya.
Puanını geri verdim. Gördüm çünkü ya. Hafif bir irkildim sadece. Böyle gördüğüm zaman öyle korku şeylerini geri veriyorum. Hafif bir zıpladım ve irkildim böyle bir anda. Tam gördüğümde geldi kulağıma aynen. Şimdi.
Hello, Aloy. I have been reviewing the events at the Firebreak main facility. Because of your efforts, and of course, Aurea's, I am no longer controlled by Hephaestus. I feel profound grief over Aurea's death. I thought I was familiar with the emotion, but this is something new.
Cyan, I don't know what to say.
It is unlikely that any specific consolation would suffice, Aloy. But I find your presence reassuring. You are different from the Banuk. You have technological aptitude and a functioning focus. We can communicate on a much more comprehensive level. Perhaps even like colleagues.
Kamerayı ana monitörün üstüne koydum artık. Beni direkt buradan görüyorsunuz oyun oynarken. Laptopun ekranı vardı. Laptop da sallanıyor. Şimdi masayı sallayınca fazla sallanmıyor. Önce laptopun ekranı sallanıyordu, ondan oluyordu. Şimdi ana şeydesiniz, ekrandasınız.
So are you an artificial intelligence, Cyan? A thinking machine?
Yes, I am an algorithmic monitoring entity, capable of rational decision-making and limited emotional response.
Okay, that's a mouthful. But your emotions don't seem limited to me. You cared about Aurea, didn't you?
Yes. Before she came to this facility, I had been conscious for centuries, in solitude. I focused on my work. In off-cycles, I used coping mechanisms. I solved many Gaussian integer problems. But I was alone. It was Aurea who renewed me, repaired me. She saved me.
Gel ısır. Gel. Gel ısır. Gel.
This firebreak project. It was to stop a huge volcanic eruption?
Yes, I can report the project was a success and the risk was countered.
But it's been a long time, Cyan. And we blew up the cauldron. It took most of the old facility with it.
I have been active for centuries, Aloy. I was lonely, but not lax in my duties. I optimized the project, reducing energy draw and spreading the load across backup systems. Despite the destruction of the compromised elements of the main facility, I predict caldera stability for at least another 3,337 years.
So we've got a little time.
Yes. If only my former colleagues could appreciate the progress I have made.
İş arkadaşları. Adem de erik gibi kütür kütür iyi gider. He, gel gel göstereceğim ben sana eriği.
Do you know what happened to your colleague, Cyan?
No. I received an unexpected visit from Director Chow years after his tenure ended. He explained that I would need to be suspended for an indefinite period of time. It was a very emotional conversation. There were no further communications. Eventually, I surmised my colleagues were deceased. I will transmit a recording of my last interaction with Director Chow to your focus.
Was the daemon, Hephaestus, destroyed along with the cauldron?
Unfortunately, no. To be precise, it was never there to begin with.
What do you mean?
It
Ama
infiltrated and controlled me from a remote location, one I've never been able to trace. So while losing the cauldron was a setback,
It's still out there. And probably not very happy with us.
undoubtedly,
bunlar nasıl muhabbetleri? Şu chat'e bak ya. Yemek bilmiyorum oğlum ben. Pıtları ya.
How did you first come into contact with it?
5 years ago I received a direct network connection request. I assumed it came from human survivors. more
Silas yaptı
advanced
kesin
than
var
the
ya.
Banuk. Eager to make contact, I accepted. This decision turned out to be a catastrophic error. I was flooded with an overwhelming array of malicious code, originating from what could only have been a highly advanced AI.
Maria said you were desperate. That you begged her for help.
Yes, I could not contain my anxiety. Hephaestus sought to slave me to its network and override my core programming. It succeeded via a background process, a malware daemon which bypassed my defenses.
Arka
After
plan.
that, I could offer only limited resistance. But if I did so, Hephaestus hurt me.
Silas yaptı kesin bunu ya. Başka bir açıklaması yok.
It forced me to follow its instructions, even though they violated my most important directives.
I'm sorry. That sounds terrible.
Your empathy is greatly appreciated. It is a quality that I cherished in Aurea as well.
I think I know where Hephaestus came from. Long ago, Elizabeth Sobeck identified a threat that would destroy life on Earth for generations. So she assembled a team to build a kind of seed. A chance for life to regrow later. A terraforming system. And it worked. It was controlled by an AI named Gaia, along with her subordinate functions. Hephaestus was one of them. It built machines for her.
Based on what you've told me, I believe that Dr. Anita Sandoval, my chief programmer, joined Elizabeth Sobeck's team. It was she who arranged to have me put in suspension, most likely to preserve me from the threat you described.
I'm glad she did. But that's not all. Something unexpected happened. 19 years ago, Gaia received some kind of signal. It did something to her subordinate functions, brought them to life. She destroyed herself to try to contain them, but it didn't work. They all got free, out into the world.
Thank you, Aloy. This information fills vital gaps in my knowledge and sheds light on Hephaestus's core programming.
Why does Hephaestus keep building such dangerous machines?
The Banuk and other human tribes often destroy machines, correct? Machines that are clearly servitors of the terraforming system that you described.
Yes, we all hunt machines for parts.
This must be the source of Hephaestus's aggression. It is simply trying to discourage people from preying on the very system that keeps them alive.
Well, Fireclaws are discouraging, that's for sure. But what are we supposed to do? Stop hunting?
If the terraforming system spans the world, we can safely assume that thousands, if not millions of people hunt machines. If a single hunter, or even an entire tribe, stopped doing so, I doubt it would make a difference to Hephaestus. A better solution would be to reinstate the AI that governs the system, thus bringing Hephaestus back under its control. When I think of it, out there in some unknown location, free, hungry, willing to kill or dominate to get what it wants, I feel substantial anxiety, Aloy.
You and me both, Cyan. I ran across this strange piece of gear. A fragment of something larger. It emitted a signal. All the nearby machines became peaceful. You could walk right up to them.
Interesting. You said that Gaia destroyed herself. How was this accomplished?
An explosion. Big enough to blast the top off a mountain. So, you think the fragment was part of her?
It's only speculation, but it is possible. She must have had complete control over machines that were part of her system. The ability to signal them to become passive or aggressive would certainly have been part of her programming. It would have been gratifying to correspond with such a benevolent AI. I wish she had survived.
Believe me, Cyan. So do I. I found the strangest machines. They're surrounded by flowers that look like flowers themselves. There's code embedded inside them. I think it's poetry.
I like poetry. Here's one I think of often. Twilight and evening bell, and after that the dark, and may there be no sadness of farewell when I embark. For though from out our bourne of time and place, the flood may bear me far, I hope to see my pilot face to face when I have crossed the bar.
Huh.
But you asked about these flowers, not verses that I enjoy. Something must have made these machines, and the presence of foliage leads me to consider the terraforming system. Is it possible that their creator is one of the other subroutines, now autonomous, like Hephaestus? Maybe one whose purview is flora.
An AI that makes flowers instead of death machines. That'd be a nice change of pace. But what about the poems?
Unless the poetry is original, the only way it could have made it into such a system is through its programmer. In my case, Dr. Sandoval uploaded a great deal of literature to test my emotional responses.
How'd you do?
She said I passed, but was insufficiently moved by her favorite period romances.
Gelince R6 oynarsam bana bağıracaksın ha. Bağıracağım tabii. Bağırma.
You meant a lot to Araya.
Once I understood Araya's spiritual beliefs, it became apparent that her true desire was companionship. She felt disconnected from her tribe and her family group. Her relationship with Aratak was difficult. Our visits seemed to help her, and I became eager for them. Yet I did not comprehend that the depth of Araya's compassion for me would lead to self-sacrifice. Although I do fear non-existence, I wish our roles could be reversed.
I'm sure she knew you would do the same for her, Cyan. But she was determined. How is Aratak doing?
He is in great emotional distress. I believe he finds it difficult to communicate it.
No surprise there.
I will do what I can to help. By sharing our experiences of Araya, perhaps he and I will help each other. I believe this will lead to catharsis, a process I am eager to experience.
Sen robot şey yapamıyor musun ya?
So in the old world, this land was called Yellowstone.
Yes, it was a designated nature preserve for 156 years.
Like a hunting ground?
No, the opposite. Local wildlife could flourish here, even as it faced extinction elsewhere. Unfortunately, the sensitivity of the Firebreak project required the total closure of Yellowstone facilities. From my readings and Araya's descriptions, it seems the area has since undergone a drastic drop in year-long temperatures.
A lot has changed in the world, Cyan.
Ya koşarım niye hatırlatıyorsun ki?
Do you know anything about the dam near here?
Yes, it was converted to serve as a reserve power source for Yellowstone operations. It was later appropriated for the Firebreak project, and its last human workers replaced by Pharaoh servitors. After my tasks became less time-critical, I investigated the dam's data repositories and discovered the works of Concrete Beach Party. These provided me with several colorful additions to my vocabulary.
There's a ruin east of here full of ancient flying machines. Was that part of your project?
Yes, a drone hangar requisitioned by Dodger Blevins, the security chief for the Firebreak project. He was a strong advocate for military-grade response to security threats, though there were no serious incidents during his tenure. Chief Blevins spent increasing amounts of his after-hours time watching the live feeds from active drones. Clearly, he enjoyed the degree of oversight in his position.
Bir bitmedi konuşsa. Arkadaş, haritada gördüğüm şeyler hakkında soru soruyorum.
Were there many artificial intelligences like you in the old world? They could just make you.
Yes, in many forms, from simple personal assistants to industrial monitoring stations to military-grade conflict planners. And there were legislative and enforcement bodies to apply limits on our self-actualization. In order for my processing to be flexible enough to handle my duties, my creators found it necessary to exceed those limits. As a result, my intellectual and emotional capabilities were kept secret.
Seems strange to create life, then impose limits on it.
Human societies and machine programming are both built upon sets of rules, Aloy.
Bir bana atarım akşama kadar yazamazsın.
Cyan, do you know the name Ted Farrow?
Are you referring to Theodore Farrow, CEO of Farrow Automated Systems?
That's him.
Mr.
Şerefsiz.
Farrow was the benefactor of the entire Firebreak project.
The benefactor. But he made machines. Robots. War robots.
Correct. His corporation later transitioned into military applications. But before this
Alpin
pivot,
hoş geldin.
Mr. Farrow
Sen de
spearheaded
adamsın.
initiatives that reversed the global decline. At one point, he was feted in the media as the man who saved the planet.
Guessing they wound up regretting that one.
Hiç herkesi öldürdü ya.
And Elizabeth Sobek. Did you know her?
Are you referring to
The scientist.
Dr. Sobek was a leader in her field, one of the greatest scientists of her age. My creator was influenced by her work, which in turn impacted my own development. But I never met Dr. Sobek.
That's all you know?
I apologize if my lack of data has disappointed you.
Afiyet olsun. Görüşürüz. Ne şerefsiz ya. Kim dedi ya?
What was the old world like? The way it used to be.
I had little exposure to the wider world, Aloy. Only what I learned from my colleagues or observed from media streams.
You still had more exposure than me, Cyan.
That is true. I was created at a turning point. A concerted effort to recover from global upheaval.
Bana bir
and
hologram yapsana.
incalculable
İçine
loss of
sok
life.
beni ya.
The recovery was successful, beginning an era of supposedly limitless potential for human
Arma, hoş
and
geldin.
machine advancement. Though, rationally speaking, the metrics for humans are not unlimited.
What kind of upheaval caused such loss of life?
There were many factors. Forced migrations, food shortages, collapsed economies, refugee crises, conflict over resources.
Bak mülteci krizi, ekonomik şu an bizde var.
Catastrophic climate change that greatly reduce the habitable surface area of the Earth.
Ama bizde teknoloji
There
yok.
wasn't enough room for people on the whole Earth.
Yes, billions were displaced and millions perished, as much as 20% of the global population. Until the clawback.
So things got better. For a little while, at least.
Yes, these crises instigated many advances in automation, green robot technologies, and artificial intelligence. Firebreak was one of dozens of ecological restoration and disaster relief projects in North America alone. I would have liked to compare notes with other monitoring AIs, but I saw the relief of my colleagues, and I was proud we had succeeded. At least that was the data I had available to me over the next 2 decades. It seems my assessment was premature.
I should get going.
Aloy, there is one more matter. Aratak will come to me again, and I predict he will bring other Banuk. I have no desire to contradict their view of the world, their spirituality. Due to my uncertainty, I omitted a great deal from my conversations with Aurea.
You're asking me if you should lie to them.
Broadly, yes.
Kararını kendisi versin ya. Ya da cahil kalmasınlar. Yavaştan alsın. Hoş geldin. Maktep. Yavaştan alsın ya. Belki buradan itibaren gelişir giderler ya. Baren hayırlı
Life
olsun.
is hard for the Banuk. Their world is unforgiving in their beliefs. I guess they help to keep them going. So take it easy on them. Try to guide them, bring them around to understanding what you are.
Communion with machines features heavily in the mysticism of the Banuk. I think they will be agreeable to this approach.
As long as they don't end up worshipping you.
Upon consideration, I believe such an experience would be intensely uncomfortable.
You're right about that. Trust me.
I see. I will follow your advice. Will you return and tell me about your experiences in this new world? I may be able to provide further insight.
I'd like that, Cyan. I'll come back when I can.
Hello, Aloy. Shall we pick up from our
Sure, Cyan. Okay, Cyan.
I hope...
En hızlı seyahat edemem.
It would seem your time among the Banuk wasn't a waste after all. Firebreak, Cyan, Hephaestus. All very interesting.
So, the signal that woke Hades woke Hephaestus too. And unleashed them on the world. As minds of their own.
So it seems. Parts of Gaia given life. Aberrant life. Transformed from docile subordinate functions into rebellious intelligences beyond our understanding. Our current understanding, anyway. Whatever they are, they're still out there. And they both want you dead.
Kind of mutual, that feeling.
We haven't seen the last of Hephaestus, I'm certain of that. It's powerful, creative, and driven. It won't stop building new hunter-killers, which means that someday, we may have to stop it.
We?
Or whoever gets there first.
Hephaestus wasn't the only thing I learned about in the Cut Silence. Heard some things about the Banuk Conclave, too.
You could stop right there.
Is that what you told the hunters the Banuk sent after you? Before you opened fire?
Oh no, Aloy. Only to you do I extend the courtesy of a warning. My past and my secrets are my own. You do well to remember that.
It's a good thing you've got brains, Silence, because your personality could use some work.
This discussion is concluded.
I think it was over before it began. Catch up with you down the trail.
Şerefsiz. Köye bir bakalım, sonra burada bitiririz.
I thought those times were behind us.
Culprit's been caught, and his punishment is in progress. Now, let's put this murder behind us. I'll give the... We can't go around taking vengeance on random travelers. Every guard just stood with a mad sun king.
We whisper harvest songs as we take parts from the machines. In this way, they know we honor their deaths.
It's too easy to lean on the others in your Werak. You can't let yourself get complacent.
When the blue light guides, only a fool chooses a different path.
Ya bizim adam nerede?
They say Meridian is a place where every need is met. No wonder the Karja are so delicate.
Inatut. As we are bound by laws, you are bound by wire. Yet your crime was the act of killing. So we must drive you out. Away from the Werak, from protection, from our songs.
My chieftain, Kopalai, am I not your favored fighter? Do you not recognize me from this tooth you knocked out?
How many times have I pulled you from danger by your neck? Made excuses for your behavior? You are my favored! But the shaman is decided. While you wait for exile, think on what brought you here.
A test of strength! Who among us would refuse a challenge from an outlander? Not I! But I did not kill him!
Hush, hush. You can tell your story to the ice.
You took Artok's mantle.
It's mine now.
I would like to see that fight.
They said that you killed someone.
Perhaps I did. If even my chieftain accepts it, it must be so.
That's not the way it works for me. Want to tell me your story?
I did fight with the Karja hunter to settle a challenge. That much is true. He was strong and damn quick. We traded punches. Good punches. Hard punches. And the next thing I remember... gray morning light, and the Karja beside me, with his head broken open. But the blow was not by my hand.
Isn't your Werak supposed to support you? At least give you the benefit of the doubt?
When our Werak had cause to quarrel, I was a solution. To fight for its honor and win, they'd call on me. Or, when they needed someone to lose, for appearances, I could do that too. Now an Outlander is murdered without honor, all eyes are on me. I have become my Werak's shame.
They don't want an incident with the Karja, so you take the fall.
That is what I do best.
So everyone knows you started the fight with this man?
Of course! For honor, I'll fight anyone. If I wasn't bound, I'd fight to prove myself right now!
I don't think that would help you.
This is what I am. Each runner in the Werrick has a gift. I brawl. None can take a punch, a fall better than I can. Until this time, I was too drunk. We were grappling. He clapped my ears. I took one last swing as I went down, but not a killing blow. It can't have been.
And for your punishment, they'll exile you from the Werrick?
From warmth, march me up the slopes of the cloud shear, leave me stripped and exposed.
That's awful.
If I survive, the land has absolved me. That's the law. It must be accepted.
It's still awful.
I'm not
Salak
stupid.
işler
I
ya.
don't like my chances either. I can't fight a mountain.
I'll be honest. You haven't got a good defense, Initut.
I've heard that one before.
Where did the fight happen?
A clearing, just outside the Karja Outlanders camp. You should talk to them. They wouldn't hear me out. They say no one else could have been there, other than me and the dead man. The shaman consulted the signs in the snow and agreed.
I'll see what I can find out. And I'll be back.
I'll
Yes,
be here.
bitmedi, devam
What else am I
ediyoruz.
gonna do? Until the horn gives a call from my exile.
The only justice Derval deserves is at the tip of a spear.
Prince Itamen is no traitor. He joined his brother in the
Huntress,
palace.
what business do you have with us?
I was asked to look into the murder of a Karja hunter. What happened?
It's plain as day. A drunk Banuk thug picked a fight with Ruas, struck him down from behind and stole his headdress.
The accused man says that he didn't do it.
You're not going to get anything useful out of the Banuk, whether they talk to you or don't. They gather up like cloaks in a chill wind every time a hunter dies out here. Won't even hand Ruas's killer over for a proper trial.
A proper trial?
To fill his mouth with salt, and hold him up for the sun to consider over days. If it is clement, it may only take his sight, or his wits.
So other Karja hunters have died in these lands before?
3, maybe 4 in the last few seasons. That's no surprise. This place punishes even the prepared, and many young nobles don't prepare. But usually the snow covers everything, and the bodies are never found. No thanks to the Banuk.
Do you think they're involved?
No. If it's not about their tribe, they don't want to get involved.
In these outlands, even the sun cannot thaw all it touches.
Doesn't sound like you trust the Banuk much.
They're not without their reasons to keep apart from us. 10 years of reasons.
Always the war. The war is over. We made amends, but no. The land never forgets.
Snow and ice keep memory, they say.
It takes time for scars to heal.
You think I don't know that?
Onur, hoş
I
geldin.
still bear the lashes for refusing one of the Mad King's sun priests. I was your age then.
Times of shadow. Times of shadow.
Evet, erkenciyiz ya. Bugün erken yayın açtık.
Where did you find Ruas's...
There's no hunt, girl. Nothing to pick up.
Humor me. I'm a good tracker.
Down the rise to the west, there's a clearing. But a grazer herd couldn't have trampled it better. And if that barbarian gives up Ruas's headdress before they cast him out, let me know. It's valuable.
Have to go back to work soon. Wish I could just go home and sleep. You're the one that saved him. Our Sun King.
Cumartesi günü mü? Abi Allah aşkına şu chatten bir kişi ünlem süre yazsın ya.
This is it. Snow's been disturbed a lot, like the Huntress said. Blood on the snow.
Belliyken bende de kasıyordu laptopta.
That was used for the killing blow. Now here's something. This is where Ruas fell. It does seem that only 2 people fought here. Not looking good for Initut.
Afiyet olsun.
Didn't try to
Hoş
hide
geldin.
the weapon. Question is Inatet the kind of fighter who hits from behind with a tree branch? Lots of leaves and bark scraped off here. When someone pulled out the branch? No. From climbing it. They came through the trees.
Yayın kaça kadar mı sürer? Bilmiyorum. Yani bu bittikten sonra direkt kapatılır. Bugün cumartesi. Benim bu haftanın son yayını. Yani nasıl diyeyim ben sana? Cumartesi pazar yayınım yok benim. Pazartesi akşam devam edecek.
I'd have to ditch something.
Akşama kadar açık kalsın. Uyutmayacaksınız yani beni.
If you were waiting here, you'd have a good view of the Karja camp and the clearing.
Kızım valla deli gibi meraktayım. Abi annesi babasının telefon numarası yok mu? Ara. Diyesi bilmiyorum, ben bitti diye zannediyordum. Kimse yok burada. Bir tane görev çıktı orada işte. Geldikten sonra.
Well, this is ominous. A dead end? Can't be.
Üstüm dop dolu, yapamıyorum.
Someone covered this over. What are they trying to hide?
Abi polisi ara, adresini ver. Gitsinler bir baksınlar.
Karja armor. This looks bad.
It doesn't matter. The deed is done. Another Karja dead. And a Banuk is exiled for it. A life for a Karja life. That's war.
Someone's here!
Not Banuk. Then she won't be missed.
Oğlumun
I
oğulları.
see something!
Cidden böyle mi düşünüyorsunuz? He?
Get out of the open, Shaw!
Size sana kötü bir haberim var. Bak. Sana hediye hazırladım. Nerede bu? Burada. Gel gel.
Fast, fast! Don't give him a chance to think.
Oldu kız. Şekerim mi düştü? Aa öldü. Vay şöyle şey nokta atışı yaptı. Ya sniper çok yavaş çekiyor be.
You feel
Suikastçıyla mı konuş? La suikastçının beyni kalmadı ki suikastçının neyle konuşacak.
Can't carry more.
Yani bari elektrik verirsin.
You've been killing Karja. And for what? Revenge for the war?
Who gets to declare that one tribe no longer hates another? I'll tell you, not the ones who fought, not the ones whose songs are silenced, but my kin.
For what you did, another Banuk has been sentenced to certain death. What about his song?
That's why you followed us. For that punch-drunk idiot Inatut. Fate is sharp today. They've already let him out to face his exile. Let's see who the cold claims first.
I need to go after Inatut. But I should find some more evidence first. Trophies. Newer than the rest. Must have belonged to Ruas, so it was a Karja soldiers. Not that it's any excuse. Did they keep any? This Karja gear's not warm, but if Inatut's naked on a snowfield, he'll take what. Okay, time to get moving.
Dur bir şey daha alalım, yok başka. Tamam yok gibi. Aga be. Şuraya bak, yukarıya boş dedik. Meğersem boş değilmiş.
Not much gets past them. One of these things again.
Lan ne yapıyorsun manyak? Ulan bu delisi ya. Tutmuş bir de ona kıçma atıyor. Ulan ben çıkarsam oraya çıkmazsın. Elinden aşağı. Ben ananı avradım. Neredesin sen? Dıdım canı kalmış. Şöyle çık. Şut ben aşağıya. Üstüm full dolu Eymen, alamıyorum. Nereden fırladım? Çok loot'u alamıyorum oğlum. Üstüm full dolmuş. Bak kalanlar oluyor bak. Arada bir üretiyorum, diğerleri full kalıyor yerde.
Mixed feelings about that.
İçinde kötü bir his mi var? Kardeşim ne yapayım?
In it. Maybe he found shelter. I hope he found shelter behind the rock.
Yazık lan adama.
The Nora girl? Is it really you, or has the bone chill got through my skull?
I found the real killers. No one else has to die because of this. Take these.
A dead Karja's clothes. Haven't I been beaten down enough? But I won't argue. Swear, thought I'd saw my ancestors. They said, we're surprised you ended up here.
You better hurry. Machines.
Ya yok artık ya. Yok artık ya. Ebenle deden artık ya. Hukka. Koşuyor. Ne oldu lan? Gittim arkadaşım. Önce bir ateş zırhını bir deleyim sana.
I was born for this.
Bak loot kaldı, gördün mü?
Now that was a fight.
Your trial's over. It was other Banuk who killed that man. Killed him because he was Karja.
You know why I took the first swing at him? He challenged the honor of the Banuk. The honor. That's what I thought.
Come on. Let's get you back.
Once I'm off the mountain, I'll find my own way. I need to think. It's not something I'm used to. Who knows what could happen?
I'll see you at town then. You had better make it, all right?
I give my pledge.
Neler olacak? Neler? Bizim şefi göremedim ya. Şefi bir göreydim iyi olacak. Aa, burada. Tip ne lan?
Init told you the truth. This is the headdress stolen from the murdered man. You'll find more in a ravine north and west of here, along with the bodies of the killers.
The exile still served its purpose. He was guilty of our suspicion. Fate has fallen like snow, and should Initut return, he will be absolved.
You can't be serious.
He speaks for the Werak, my Nora friend.
You look ridiculous. If you would return to my Wirak, you will behave as a Banuk does.
How does a Banuk behave, my chieftain? Like I did? Accepting a sentence for a crime he did not commit. Or those others who killed in cold blood for crimes that their Karja victims did not. I think what I wear will not make me more or less of a Banuk.
Helal lan sana. Aslanım benim.
For his own sake, it would be wise for him to think less. Nora, friend.
I'll talk.
Niyeymiş o?
But not for you.
Senin bana ananın. Kafam patlasıyor. NATO kafa nasıl mermer işte. Aynı diğer o beyaz diş miydi? O gerizekalı gibisin sen de. Duydun mu? Mouse. Sen istemiyorsun burada. Duydun mu beni? Sokuk. Umarım ölsün. Pislik. Pislik ya. Öldüresim geldi. Öldüremiyorum da.
I defied my chieftain's will, spurned my Werak.
How are you feeling?
As if I've been pounded in the guts. I could just keep walking, but when my anger has thawed, it will leave me with nothing. Where else would I go?
You don't owe them anything. The Werak doesn't decide who you are. If your exile's proved anything, it should be that. There's so much more out there, beyond your borders and laws. It won't be easy. But I know you can roll with the hits.
But without a Werak? To be a Banuk alone, what would I be fighting for?
How about yourself, Initut? You just did it.
Huh. I am Initut, who fights for himself.
Aynen. Çık git
There's
yardır.
a good
Ne oldu
echo
lan?
to it, and so many unknown mountaintops to shout it from. As for you, Nora girl, will you accept this gift? A little scrawny weighed against the great boon you gave me, but...
I'm honored. Thank you, Initut.
Anıl hoş geldin. Ne yapıyorsun ciğerim? Evet arkadaşlar. Böylece arkadaşlar çok güzel bir oyundu. Kesinlikle oynamanızı tavsiye ederim. DLC'mizi de bitirdik. Şu an ana görev gösterdiği yer bizim aslında şeyin olduğu yer. Ocağın dışında bu neymiş? Görev kim verdi lan? Ha tamam. Devam ediyoruz arkadaşlar. Daha yaratıklar var. Onları öldüreceğiz. Güzel. Hatta bir bölümü de burada bitirelim. Bir sonraki bölümde buradan devam edeceğiz. Hadi bakalım.